How is everybody? My name is Morden. I'm super hyped to talk about devil fruits today. So why don't we just jump right into it? Oh, and before I forget, if you like what you see, subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment so you can tell me your thoughts on what you saw. So let's get into some devil fruit lore. We see right here in this image, this is the first time a devil fruit is brought up for us, where Luffy eats it, and Shanks explains that he turned into a rubber man and that he now can no longer swim. Let me clarify that swimming part for you. That means once he gets about waist deep, he is unable to really do anything in water. So that gives you sort of a perspective that they can shower, they can touch water, drink water, and do all that. But once they get about waist deep or so, then they start losing their energy, and of course they can't use the devil fruit power that they have. Anyways, devil fruits are actually really rare in the world. Most of them being on the Grand Line, of course, because that's where the strongest people are located. But you'll find them in the other blues around. There's no real reason why they're so rare. More or less, they're probably, maybe 150, maybe 200. We aren't quite sure how many devil fruits there are, but we know there are about 100, maybe a little bit more. We do know that there are different categories of devil fruits. We have Logia, which turns you into some sort of element. We have Paramecia, which gives you a random abstract power. And then we have Zone, which gives you an animal power. So those three are the only categories that we have for the devil fruits. And they really do fit into one of those three categories. You're either an element, you're either an animal, or you have some weird power. Diving into the specifics of devil fruits, I want to focus on this image and the strange swirl marks that are all over it. These fruits have something in them. We have seen other mangaka write things similar, but I want to bring up Kishimoto's famous Naruto series and a specific technique that they use in it. I believe the 8 trigram sealing technique closely resembles the process of how devils are captured for the devil fruits. With this ability, a person is able to seal living beings, objects, and chakra, and various other things inside something else for later use. Naruto himself has one of these seals on his stomach, and as you would know, it's a swirl pattern. There is the reverse of this technique as well, but I think that lies with Blackbeard, so that would be another video. Depending on how the seal is placed, it can allow the user and power to give more power. Eventually, when the host and the being share enough of their power together, the trapped being becomes free. We have an object and we have a formula, the swirls. They seem to do just that, allow exchange of power, and at some point the fruit can awaken. Now please bear with me with this next part because it's a little dense and it's a little confusing. I'll try to be as clear as I can, but I really believe that it goes something like this. The host of the devil fruit, or even just a normal person, has 3 parts. We all know this. There's the mind, the body, and the soul. But that's not entirely true. We have a shadow too. So how does the combination work? The mind of the user is of course intact with the will. The body itself gets swapped with the devil so that the body is your body now. Now we have the human soul and the devil's soul trying to either take control or merge as one inside of the body. Lastly, we have a person's shadow, which never changes but is always with the person. It holds all the abilities and quirks of the original body. No devil fruit powers. We do have a little problem. Vegapunk was able to get a sword and a gun to eat a devil fruit. How was he able to do this? We see that zones have a will of their own, but would a Paramecia or even a Logia have a will of their own? Do they even have souls? So that right there shows us that zones are a bit more special of a case in the 3 cases of devil fruits. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb here but I believe throughout the story we see little references, so I don't think this is too far from the truth. Now, where do devil fruits come from? I would like to think that devil fruits came from one of the many moons in the One Piece world. You see right here, this is the Library of Ohara, and that is the One Piece globe, and around it are 7 moons. So I'm thinking that on one of these moons, the civilization was so advanced that they were able to realize its power of capturing things. So that's what they did. And in the process of making more and more and more devil fruits, they ran out of resources, so they moved and just left their planet void. Going back to Vegapunk, we see he made one devil fruit that seems to be perfect, but he still called it a failure. But that's besides the point. If he can make this one devil fruit, even though it's not as complete as he wanted it, why not make more? How much did he need just to make this one that you see here? Well, we are told that one of the times that Kaido was captured, Vegapunk was able to take some of his lineage factor, and ultimately that was one of the main ingredients of the devil fruits. Just to reinforce the point, Vegapunk and his group were able to make this one devil fruit, and then we see later on Caesar being able to make more of these devil fruits. But his versions are a lot more different than Vegapunk's, and his are way more wacky, and they don't work most of the time. And when they do work, they give you some random part of the animal that you got the power of. So instead of just looking like your normal self, you always sort of look like your animal that you have. And this is partly because Caesar probably doesn't know the exact way that Vegapunk did it, and he had to just, do what he could to make his fruits work. And his fruits are grown after this chemical is sort of poured over an area. He has his dwarves, or the Tontada. They take care of the gardens, and when the devil fruits are done, they pick them, and then Caesar gives them out. I want to take a moment to talk about the reverse cycle of the devil fruits. Oda drew this picture, and it's pretty straightforward. So you find the fruit, you eat it, you gain a power, and then when you die, your power returns to a fruit. Pretty simple. But with the story getting closer and closer to its end, we keep on getting more information. So, Zoro pointed out early on in the story that everything has a breath. This refers to Haki. So, if everything has a breath, nothing is really dead. So, I believe Vegapunk knew this. So, when he created Momo's artificial devil fruit, it didn't have a soul. So Momo wasn't able to use his abilities because he didn't have a guide or a mental trigger to let him know, oh, you're a dragon. Oh, this is how you fly. Oh, this is how you use Boro breath. We see that once Kaido was defeated and probably dead, he was really able to use his powers more easily. He was able to use the Boro breath, and he was able to transform and go back to human form pretty easily. Since we see that Haki is more important to devil fruits, this might be the reason why each person's power is a little bit different. Can my will be the same as someone else's? I don't believe so. So we see that Blackbeard, of course, stole another fruit from Whitebeard. But guess what? Whitebeard was dead, so that's why Blackbeard was able to use his power so easily. And again, going back to Momo and Kaido, once Kaido was out of the picture, Momo seemed to be able to start to know how to use his fruit more easily, because I would assume the soul went to Momo since he had the artificial one, it became the real one. But if you look at this picture, they still are different, being that Momo and Kaido were alive at the same time, using the same fruit. So, awakening still. These are the jailer beasts at Impel Down. They are fully awakened, we are told that. But if you look at them, they're drooling, they have snot running out their nose. They don't seem to be conscious. Or they are conscious, but they're human forms. They can't seem to be conscious as a human anymore. They're awakened zone forms. And why is this? Were they pushed to that level? Were they just did it and then the zone took over? We don't know. But we assume that in order to awaken, one must be able to fully realize their fruits. This means that their body must be able to handle whatever they think that their fruit can do. They must have the haki to do it, and they of course need the willpower and strength. This was an awesome topic to research, and I loved explaining what I thought Devil Fruits were to you. I also incorporated Naruto with this because Oda and Kishimoto are friends, so I could see him, using some inspiration from Kishimoto. Well, a person must have the will and the power and the imagination to use the Devil Fruit. Without it, what is it? With knowledge comes power. Thanks for watching till the end. Leave me a comment and tell me what you thought. Please subscribe and ring that notification bell. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.